Hello, thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be looking at bends. These are things that we've heard in our solos before. You will have heard this sound in your bluesy solos. What we're doing is we're starting on a note and bending up. Bending up. Now, it's not a random thing. I can bend these notes in different ways. I could do a little bend. Okay, I could do a bigger bend. I could do a really big bend. Okay, and this is, again, it's not a random thing. What we're doing is we're thinking about the frets on the guitar. Let me show you. If I was going to just base this, what we're going to start with, around the 7th fret on the G string, this is the note D. Now, D is our starting note. If we were going to bend up a semitone higher than D, we would get to the note D sharp or E flat. So if I bend up the 7th fret on the G string, I'm trying to get to that 8th fret. That's what we call a semitone bend or a half tone bend. Sometimes you see this on the tabs as half tone bends. Okay. The next kind of bend that we'll look at is a full tone bend. Now think about this. If a semitone bend or a half tone bend is 1 fret, then a full tone bend is higher. So if I play this note here, which is on the 9th fret of the G string, and then I bend up the 7th, and I'm trying to land, you can hear when I hit the same note, can't you? Remember what I said? It's not a random thing. We're hitting a specific note. Listen to this. Okay. So it's all about accuracy with bends, and I think there's different times where you do different kinds of bends, but mostly we're thinking about the patterns that we're in, the shapes that we've been using, like our pentatonic scales, trying to remember where to play next, if that kind of makes any sense at all. So let's start with a little bit of an exercise. If you're just starting up, it won't take too long. So the idea is we're going to play the 7th fret on the G string, and then we're going to play the 8th fret. And then what we're going to try and do is bend up the 7th fret until we get to that 8th fret. So I want you to just do it slowly. Play the 8th fret. Remember, these are semitone bends, 1 fret bends, we can also call them, yeah? And just get used to that idea. We're playing the 8th fret and bending up to the 7th fret. And we're trying to be accurate. Try and make it sound exactly the same. Now, the next kind of bend, again, practice them. The tone bend. Play the 9th fret, and then play the 7th fret, and then get to it. Try and do it a few times, get used to it. And try and think to yourself, I'm doing a 2 fret bend or a full tone bend. We could also just call it a tone bend. Okay, these are our 2 different bends that we're going to be looking at today. Now, in our pentatonic scale, when we play, we'll keep it to the pentatonic and perhaps the blues scale a little bit. A really popular riff to go into the 2nd position of that blues scale is playing 5-7, 5-7, and then sliding up to the 9th fret on the G string. So you'd go 5-7, 5-7, 9. Now, what you can try is playing the 7th fret and bending it up instead. So now it's, and you get this. And this is going to be a really, really nice little bend that you can put into your solos. So if I was going to loop something around, so I'm playing A minor 7 into D9. Okay, and then I had that lick that we just played. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a full tone bend playing there, okay, which is the next into the pattern, okay? Okay, and this is a really good way to start thinking about those bends. In blues playing an awful lot, you'll hear this kind of sound. Or maybe. Now that's the same lick, but what we're doing is we're playing a semitone bend first time, and then a tone bend the second time, Now what we're doing is we're changing how the string sounds. A typical thing to do when we're bending in our kind of blues position 1 is bend the minor third to the major third. So it's a semitone bend. So if I was going to play a little blues lick, yeah, you can bend the string downwards or upwards, whatever you like. And they can give you ideas on notes where you wouldn't necessarily be thinking of them in our kind of box positions that we use. And I'll give you an example here. In our A minor pentatonic pattern here, these notes at the top, the 5th fret, 8, 5, 8 again. Now on the B string, that we're really used to these, and you may have even tried to bend these ones before. Now, how about bending into a note? So what I'm doing is I'm going a semitone below, I'm doing a semitone bend up to that note. So whereas we may not have thought of to use that 7th fret note before, we can bend into the note that we know of. Okay, it could be a really, really interesting sound. I hope that kind of explains a little bit about our bends and how you can use them to, enhance your playing. And I hope you understand what is going on when we're saying semitone and tone bends now.